and girls. Welcome to our math lesson today. It is Wednesday, May 6th. So you will need your math book, crayons, pencil, and eraser, and get those handy with our Chapter 12 math book. And we're going to begin with a PowerPoint, and then we'll listen to our mouse friend before we go into our lesson. So here we have a sorting mat, and we are going to take the objects here and put them in the correct boxes. So this box here says big. This one is medium. This one is small. For the purposes of our lesson, we're going to be focusing mostly on big and small, but we do have some medium objects here today. So we're going to start with our apple. So we see that we have 3 apples. Here, here, and one over here. So looking at these, we decide which one is the biggest or the largest, and that would be this one. So we're going to move this up into our big box, our big category, because we're sorting today by size. And size is big, medium, and small. So we have our big apple here. Now we're going to take a look at this apple. Does that look small to you or medium to you? If you think it's small, that is correct. We're going to move that over here into the box labeled small. So that would mean that this apple would be medium. So take a look now at these 3 objects. We have big, medium, small. The big and the small are completely opposite. The medium goes right in the middle. So now we can do the same thing with all the other objects down here. So I'm just going to go to an object, and then I want you to say out loud while you're doing the lesson whether you think it is big, medium, or small. So the basketball here, if you guessed small, that's correct. How about this basketball? If you guessed big, that's correct. It's going to go over here. And this one is medium. It's going to be moved here. Now we're going to take a look at our cupcakes. How about we start with this one? Where do you think that one might go? If you guessed medium, that is correct. And each of these items you will notice are about the same size. The big objects are all both big and both the same size. Over here, the mediums are all about the same, and then our smaller objects. So now going to this one, this cupcake. If you guess small, that is correct. And last, this would be big. I'm going to put that right, getting a little crowded in our big box. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at our fish. We have this fish is definitely small. And this one, large, big. This one's going to go right over here, and it just fits in our big box. And last, this fish would be medium. So take one last look at our items here in the boxes and repeat after me. These objects are big. These objects are medium size. And these objects are small size. So again, we are sorting by size, big, medium, small. So now we're going to take a look at our friend, and he is going to be introducing classifying and counting objects by size.
Hey there! This is my friend Charlie. We noticed that the balloon man is selling small balloons and big balloons. The small balloons sell for less than the big balloons. So knowing the difference between big and small can be important. Charlie says he likes small balloons best. He wants to know how many balloons are small. I'm not sure how many of the balloons are small. I'd like to know. Let's learn about classifying and counting objects by size.
Shapes can be different sizes. This shape is big. And this shape is small. The yellow circle is big compared to the blue circle. The blue circle is small compared to the yellow circle. What shapes do you have? Circles, squares, triangles, and rectangles. What are some ways you can sort and classify these shapes? By shape or color. How can you sort and classify these shapes another way? You can sort by size. In which category does this shape belong? Why? Big, because it's big. How do you know it doesn't belong in the other category? The other category is for small shapes. This shape is big. What about this shape? In which category does it belong? Small, because it's small. And the square? Where does this shape belong? Big, because it's big. It goes with the other big shapes. Where do you think this triangle goes? Big, because it's big. It goes with the other big shapes. And what about this triangle? Small, because it's small. It goes with the other small shapes. You're nearly halfway through sorting the shapes. Keep going. Where does this square belong? Big, because it's big. It goes with the other big shapes. And this one? Big, because it's big. It goes with the other big shapes. What about this one? Big, because it's big. It goes with the other big shapes. 3 more to go. In which category does this circle belong? Small, because it's small. It goes with the other small shapes. And what about this rectangle? Small, because it's small. It goes with the other small shapes. Last one. Where does this shape belong? Big, because it's big. It goes with the other big shapes. You've sorted all the shapes into big and small categories. Well done! What sizes are the shapes? Big and small. How are these two shapes alike? They're both big. This is a sorting mat. This side says small, and this side says big. Sort and classify the shapes by size.
So we're going to do one at a time. So thumbs up. We'll say thumbs up small, thumbs down big. Which one do you think? If you said big, that's correct. We're going to put that there, but we'll check at the end. This one, small or big? I would think that one is a small one. I'm going to put it there. This one definitely is not small because it's bigger than this one. So we'll stick it over here. This one, big. This one, small. How about this one? If you guessed big. And how about this one? Now we'll check.
Great sorting! You classified the shapes by size. What do you notice about the sizes in each category? Each category is one size. In which category does this shape belong? Small. Why does this shape not belong in the other category? Because it's not big. Now let's practice with the personal math trainer.
So now, friends, we are going to go ahead and do our assignment, our worksheet. So if you have your math books, go ahead and open them up and turn to page 505, Lesson 3. And we are going to be practicing sorting today. So on this first page, it says to sort and classify a handful of shapes by size. Draw and color the shapes. So we don't have objects to use right now, so we're just going to practice drawing them. So I want you to go ahead and get your pencil, and we are going to just draw big shapes, and then we're going to draw small shapes. So we're going to do the exact same shapes, that way you can see what they look like. So big, let's go ahead and draw one big triangle, very big triangle. Then over here, we're going to practice drawing a smaller triangle, a really tiny one, just like that. And then you can color them in later. All right, how about we start on the small side and let's do a circle. And let's draw a teeny tiny little circle. And then over here on the big side, we need to draw a bigger circle. Now, even though this circle is not as big as the triangle, it's still considered big because it's bigger than this one. And remember, we're talking about size today, and we're just focusing on big and small for the purposes of our lesson. We're not worrying about medium. And then let's do one more. How about a square? Or we'll do a rectangle. Let's do a rectangle. Let's do one big rectangle like this. I want to really show what it looks like. And then we'll do a teeny tiny little rectangle. Remember, when you do your rectangle, you have to have two sides that are longer and two sides that are shorter. So you can pause the tape and go ahead and color these, or color them later. We're going to go ahead now and move on to the next page. So our next page looks like this, and now what we're going to be doing is placing the shapes as shown. We're going to sort and classify the shapes by the category of size, then draw and color the shapes in each one. So we're just going to take a look at each shape. We cannot move them, so we will have to draw them. And we're going to try and do them in the colors. So if you want to get your crayons handy, and we'll start with our green triangle. So let's start with the green triangle. And you have to decide, okay, where does the triangle go? Does it go on the small side or the big side? And the best way for you to figure it out is look at the other triangle. Since this one is larger, then we know this one is the small one. So this is going to go down here. So let's go ahead and draw a green triangle, a green small triangle. And you can go ahead and color it in now with your crayons. I'm going to kind of do scribble coloring because I don't have a fat crayon to do that with. And then we can cross this out because we know we already took care of that shape. Now let's, are there any other green ones? Nope. I'm going to get rid of my green crayon and pick up my blue crayon because now I have a blue circle. So take a look at the circle. Do you think that is small? Thumbs up. Or big? Thumbs down. It looks pretty big to me. It's definitely bigger than this smaller triangle. So we're going to do that over here on the big side and go ahead and just draw that blue circle, and then you can color it in as well. Okay, and then we can cross it out. While I have my blue crayon, I'm going to go ahead and come over here to the other blue object, and I'm going to figure out where this goes. So comparing this rectangle to this rectangle, I can see that this one is much bigger. So we know right away that this goes on the big side. So let's go ahead and just draw that rectangle, approximately how big it is. Mine's probably a little bigger. And then you can color that in blue. And then cross it out. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and get rid of my blue crayon, and I'm going to pick up, how about my yellow crayon? So we're going to take a look at our yellow square and take a look at the size. We do not have a smaller square to compare to, but looking at the size, it really looks about the same size as this large blue circle and this large blue rectangle. So we're going to put it over here on the big side. So let's go ahead and draw a yellow square and fill it in. And then when you're done, you can cross that out. Last, we're going to move on to our red and pick up your red crayon. We have 3 red shapes here. Now, just to remind you, we aren't focusing or sorting by color, and we're not sorting by shape. We're focusing on size, small and big. So we look at this rectangle. Is it smaller than this one? Yes, it is. And we see that this rectangle is also smaller than this one. So we're going to draw 2 small rectangles. And as long as you make them smaller than the blue one right next to us, then you did it correctly. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I really scribbled outside the lines. And then fill this one in too. And we're done with these 2. We're going to cross those out. And now last is our triangle. Take a look at it. Is it larger than this triangle? Yes, it is. And we know we already put the small green one here. So we're going to put this large red one over on the big side. And then go ahead and fill it in. Perfect. And cross it out. Now we're going to need this page to answer the questions on the next page. So if you want to lay them next to each other, I will be going back and forth. So let's take a look here at the directions. It says look at the categories of size in exercise 1, which is over here. Count how many in each category. So we're looking to see which one has 3 shapes. So if we go back over here, let's count. We have, I'll go ahead and bring it up so you can see it bigger. Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3. This side, the small side, has 3 shapes. This side has 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if we go back to this page, which one has 3? It's the small, this one. So we're going to circle small, and we're just going to write I guess we can write 3 because there's 3 shapes under the small, or maybe just 1 category. We'll put 1 because only one of the categories has 3 shapes in it. Now we're going to go down to 4. If we go back, we see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 on the big side. So now the one that has 4 is big. We're going to go ahead and circle this. And since there's only 1, we're going to write 1. And now we're on our mid-chapter checkpoint. So we're just going to kind of do this together, but I'm going to give you a chance to answer the question and try and do it on your own without me. So look at the set that's at the beginning of the row. Circle the shape that belongs in that set. So we can see right away that these are sorted by color. We have a rectangle, a triangle, and a square. Does not matter their size. Doesn't even really matter the shape, but we're focusing on color. Since they are all yellow, which one would you circle that belongs in this shape? in this group of shapes. If you guessed the yellow, that is correct. Go ahead and circle it. Now take a look at number 2. Look at the shape at the beginning of the row. Mark an X on the set in which the shape belongs. So this is a triangle. They said mark the shape. So it's really important which shape belongs. So look over here. You have these shapes here, and then you have these. Where would this red triangle belong? If you guessed this group, that is correct. Why? Because they're all the same shape. This is a triangle, and these are triangles. These are not triangles, they are rectangles. So go ahead and put an X on this because that is where this shape belongs over here. And I'm just going to draw a little arrow. Now down at the bottom, number 3. It says draw lines to match the shapes to the categories. So you have, it says green. So all of these up here are just showing you the different shapes. These are not what we're going to be using. You're looking at the words, boys and girls. So this says green. This one says triangle. This one says small. So looking down here at the groups of shapes, which ones are all green? If you are pointing to this one, that is correct. Go ahead and connect by drawing a line from the word green to the group of shapes that are green. Now the next one says triangle. Which one of these? Are these all triangles or are these all triangles? Point to the one you think it is. If you are pointing to this one, that is correct, and go ahead and connect this blue dot under the word triangle to the blue dot above these shapes. So we just have one more, and that one says small. Take a look at the last group. Are these shapes small? Do they look small to you? Compared to this large circle, yes, I would say that these are small shapes. So we're going to draw a really long line from this blue dot all the way through the other 2 lines to our small. And that concludes our math lesson today. So again, today's lesson was focusing on, repeat after me, size. And we categorized or sorted. So we sorted, repeat after me, we sorted by by big and small shapes. Big and small. So that was our focus today. Yesterday's lesson was on shapes, and the lesson before that was on color. So I hope you enjoyed our math lesson. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, friends.